sorry. You probably said it today. Maybe to a person who bumped into you. Maybe to a door. Maybe to a chair you walked into. And if any of that sounds familiar, stay with me. Because the people who say sorry the most are almost never the ones who did anything wrong. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you what's really happening in the mind of a chronic apologizer. And by the end, you'll never hear the word sorry the same way again. Let's start with something strange. Researchers have a name for it: the over-apology. It's when you say sorry for things that aren't your fault, weren't your responsibility, and in some cases, never even happened. Sorry for asking a question. Sorry for taking up space. Sorry for someone else's mistake. On the surface, it looks like politeness, but underneath, it's almost never about manners at all. So what is it about? To answer that, we have to go back. Way back. To before you could even talk. Most chronic apologizers learned the habit early. Picture a child in a house where emotions were unpredictable, where a parent's mood could turn in an instant. That child learns something fast. If I make myself small, the storm might pass. Sorry becomes a shield, a way to disarm danger before it arrives. The problem is, that child grows up, but the shield never comes down. And here's the part most people miss. The apology was never about the other person. It was about safety. This is where it stops being a personality quirk and becomes biology. When you over-apologize, your body is often running a threat response. The same ancient system that fires when you're in real danger. Psychologists call one version of it fawning. Not fight, not flight, but appease. Make peace. Lower your head before anyone can raise a hand. Your nervous system decided, long ago, that being agreeable was how you survive. So the sorry isn't a choice. It's a reflex. But a reflex pointed at what, exactly? Here's a way to picture it. Imagine you carry an invisible scale everywhere you go. On one side, your needs. On the other, everyone else's. For most people, that scale balances. But for a chronic apologizer, the other person's side is always heavier. Automatically, before a single word is spoken, your needs feel like an imposition. Their comfort feels like an emergency. So you apologize to tip the scale back. And you do it so often you stop noticing you're doing it at all. Now you might be thinking, what's the harm? Isn't it nice to be considerate? Here's the twist. Over-apologizing doesn't make people respect you more. Studies on perception find the opposite. Constant apologizing quietly signals low status. Every unnecessary sorry is a tiny message that says, I'm not sure I deserve to be here. People start to believe it. Not because it's true, but because you keep telling them. And the cruelest part? The more you shrink, the less safe you actually feel. But there's something even stranger going on. Because not everyone who over-apologizes is anxious or afraid. Some of the most confident, successful people you know do it constantly. And for a completely different reason. To understand that, we need to talk about guilt. Not the guilt you feel when you've actually done something. A different kind. A guilt that has no event attached to it at all. Psychologists call it free-floating guilt. A low background hum of feeling responsible for things that were never yours to carry. The friend's bad day. The tension in the room. The fact that someone, somewhere, is unhappy. People with this trait often have enormous empathy. They feel other people's emotions almost as if they were their own. So when anything goes wrong nearby, the apology slips out automatically. Because on some level, it feels like their fault. Their superpower and their cage are the same thing. This is the engine behind the people pleaser. And it runs on a hidden belief. If I keep everyone happy, I'll finally be safe. And finally be loved. So they apologize, they over-explain, they take the blame to smooth things over. It works, for a while. People do like them. But it comes at a price almost too quiet to notice. They slowly lose track of what they actually want. Ask a lifelong apologizer what they need, and you'll often get a long, uncomfortable silence. Because no one ever taught them that the question was allowed. And here's what builds underneath all that smoothing over: resentment. It's the secret most chronic apologizers would never admit. When you spend years putting everyone else's scale ahead of your own, a quiet anger collects in the basement. Not at others, at themselves, for never speaking up. This is why the kindest, most accommodating person can suddenly, shockingly, snap. It was never really sudden. It was a pressure that had nowhere to go, finally finding the door. So what do you do with all this? The answer isn't to stop apologizing. A real apology is one of the most powerful things a human can offer. The goal is to apologize on purpose instead of on reflex. And there's a deceptively simple trick. The next time sorry rises in your throat, pause and ask, did I actually do something wrong? Or am I just uncomfortable that someone might be upset? That one question, asked honestly, starts to separate the reflex from the real thing. Then try swapping the word. Instead of sorry I'm late, try thank you for waiting. Instead of sorry for rambling, try thanks for hearing me out. Watch what happens. The apology made you smaller. Gratitude does the opposite. It lifts the other person without lowering you. Same kindness, none of the shrinking. People who make this one switch often say it changes how others treat them within days. Not because they became someone else, but because they finally stopped apologizing for existing. Because that's the truth hiding under all of this. If you're someone who apologizes too much, it almost certainly means you are deeply attuned to other people. You feel things most people walk right past. That sensitivity is not a flaw. It's one of the rarest, most valuable things a person can have. It was just never meant to be turned against you. The work isn't to feel less. It's to finally point that care, just a little, back at yourself. So the next time the word sorry rises up out of nowhere, notice it. Get curious about it. That tiny pause is where the whole pattern starts to change. And if any of this felt a little too familiar, you're not broken. And you're definitely not alone. There are more people carrying this exact habit than you'd ever guess. If this gave you a new way to see yourself, or someone you love, subscribe. This channel is all about explaining the hidden things running quietly underneath everyday life. I'm just the guy who explains them. I'll see you in the next one.